Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And for this one, it's another train making its debut on this channel. But before we go on to what that train is, although you can already clearly see what it is, the route. So we are on the Portsmouth direct line, but we're gonna do a slightly different route. This one is relatively short. It's more of a commuter run, but considering the train we're in, it makes sense. So we are starting at London Waterloo, and our destination is West Byfleet, which means we will be seeing part of the Portsmouth direct line route DLC that doesn't often crop up. So yeah, I figured, that'll make a decent-ish route for this particular train. We are in a class 159 DMU 3-car train, so we get to see what the differences are between the 159 and the 158, which has already appeared a few times in videos on this channel. As far as the specifics, it is summer, it's cloudy, and it's 1 PM. So, well, that is the setup. So let's get things underway. And here we are, and you can see from the cab here that cab wise it looks identical to the 158, including here with the old field of view being so wide that we've got a fair bit missing, so we do need to zoom in a bit. Okay, so with regards to the setup, there's not a lot to do. That is pretty much it. Actually, I'll tell a lie, we don't need the cab lights, but we do want the instrument lights on. So let's get ourselves into... get the reverser set to forward. So here we are, Southwest Trains class 159. We're in a 159-1. And yeah, 3-car train. All of the 159s were 3 cars or multiples of. And here we are at Waterloo. A very empty looking Waterloo, but there are some other trains here. It looks like a 455. So West Byfleet then is 21.68 miles away. Let's get up and running. So what is the difference between the 159 and the 158? Well, I'm sure it won't come as any big surprise, but the differences aren't huge. It's predominantly down to the passenger sections. The 159 has a first class section, the 158s don't. The 159 also has retention toilets, the 158 doesn't. 159, as I've already said, comes in threes. It's always, yeah, 3-car trains. The 158s are always 2s. There is also a slightly different coupling, and there is also, yeah, this rather annoying feature. I cannot find the key to stop the DSD going off, so I have to keep doing that. But yeah, it is a separate device from the DVD system, which is disabled. So let's hope this does not carry on. It is a faint hope, I do realise that. So we're going to make this an all stops run, because yeah, it is fairly short. Say 21 point, well, it's just shy of 21.7 miles. So we will stop at the likes of Vauxhall, which we are approaching. We're going to stop everywhere. Now, one other difference, possibly the last difference between the 158s and 159s, only applies to the original 159 zeros, or just standard 159. They did have slightly more power in their motors. They were, yeah, they had okay, right. Yes, so they had 400 horsepower per unit. So each train had 1200 horsepower. I say that was the 159 zeros. The 159 ones reverted back to 350 horsepower per unit, which is the same as the 158s. I have no idea why they felt the need to, first of all, implement the change in the first place to up the power to 400 horsepower per unit, and then why they then felt the need to change back again. But nevertheless, that is what they did. So here we are then at Vauxhall. I think that is another 455 coming in. Quite a long 455. Okay, let's get back underway. Unfortunately, we're getting the overhead view still, so put this straight. Well, we can put it in the full throttle now. Now, to be honest, the way this 159 is performing, it's performing more like it has a bit more power. It's performing more like it's one of the original 159s, not a 159-1, but yeah, we can clearly see it is a 159-1. So now we're in a 60 zone. So top speed of this thing, you can see there, actually you may not be able to see it because my webcam may be blocking it, but yeah, top speed is 90 mph. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get the chance to actually go at 90, I suspect probably not. So Clapham Junction is our next stop. And certainly driving this thing, it does not feel, apart from this, it does not feel any different to driving a 158. And even though I'm not what you would call a big fan of the 158, they don't drive badly in this game. Just caught that. But I would like this train more if I knew how to, or if I knew the keyboard shortcut for the dead man's pedal, and then even more so if I knew of a way of disabling it. So we'll get our speed down to high 30s. Of course, around Clapham Junction there's a lot to be rendered here, so probably going to get a bit of stuttering, because even though 2 videos back I said that I needed to reboot my PC, yeah, I've still not done it. So you've seen plenty of 455s. Okay, so yeah, here we are. Yeah, we are in there somewhere. Where we've stopped, it's not easy to see a great deal of the area, but yeah, take it from me, this is Clapham. Looks like the 455 next to us is buggering off. Okay, so we are all set. Away we go. It was a 377 just past us on the left. As we have come off the Portsmouth Main Line, I think. as we approach Earlsfield Station. The other thing is, it doesn't do anything. It will just keep going. It just keeps going, but it won't stop us or anything. Okay, let's get our speed down a bit. Okay, high 30s again. Certainly good brakes on these, no doubt about that. And I mean, there's no getting away from the fact the acceleration is great on it. Certainly better than the acceleration on the 158s. That is pretty much down to the fact that, yeah, this is, well, these are 3-car trains. So yeah, we do have additional weight, that is for sure, but we also have quite a bit more power. So here we are at Eastfield, and it does look like that 455 is stopping here. Much longer platform than I thought it was going to be, actually. Okay, away we go. These are quite high revving engines by train standards. So at 100% we're revving at 2,100 RPM. That's, yeah, for a train that's very high revs. Right, Wimbledon is next. That has me thinking we are still on the Portsmouth Main Line, because I'm sure Wimbledon is one of the stops when on the Portsmouth Main Line. Oh, right, is it? There's none of the usual ones. So yeah, whatever key it is, there's one more that it could be that I haven't yet tried, so next time it happens we'll give it a shot. No, that red is the line next to us, so yeah, we are okay. Yeah, I didn't think I'd need to put the brakes into step 3, and I was right for once. So here we are at Wimbledon, snobby old place. Right, off we go. No idea what is next, but by putting all the, doing all of these stops, it means that this relatively short run, it's not, over and done with in just a few minutes. So it does still end up with a video of a half decent length. This one is a Southern Rail one here to our left. I think it was a 375. I suspect actually it's a Southern Rail train is probably more likely to do this route that we're doing rather than the southwest trains that we are in. So Rains Park is next. We always seem to get fairly close to I forgot to check the key. Right, next time. But yeah, we always seem to get pretty close to our max speed, and then we have to start braking. So after Rains Park is New Malden. I think we are now off the line, off the Portsmouth Main Line. I mean, I realise I've already said that once before. But I don't recognise Rains, and certainly don't recognise New Malden as being stops that we make whenever we've done a Waterloo to Portsmouth or vice versa run, which I've done quite a few, most of which were requested by Jim Plays. I think we started braking a bit too early here. Well, the main station building, yeah, we've gone past, so we'll stop closer to that. So, yeah, here we are at Rains Park. Well, that section there looks more like the section that's going off down a branch line. We look like we are still very much on the main line. I mean, four lines here. Okay, off we go again. So New Malden is next, and we know it is quite close. start braking once we are about half a mile away. Well, yeah, start braking at half a mile. I think we need to ease off on the throttle a bit. So Berrylands station is little more than a mile away once we leave this one. So we've got quite a few stations all coming along at pretty quick succession. Yeah, I'm not familiar with New Malden, but I do know Old Malden, which is in Essex. So here we are, New Malden. Doesn't it look wonderful? It doesn't take long for the guard signal to come along once the door's shut. I did the door shut pretty quick on this as well. So, next stop is Berrylands, and yeah, it's barely a mile from here. So while I was taking a look at all of these branch lines, I was tempted to do a run to Hampton Court, but that was a bit too short. It wasn't even 15 miles. But I may have to have a look here and see if... I think, yeah, we are changing to a branch line after Berrylands. That 20 mph section as we approach Surbiton. Aha! So it is number pad enter. So if you've got a 159, it might come in handy to know. In fact, chances are if you've got a 159 you already know that. But I haven't driven mine very much. I've braked far too hard. Yes, this doesn't exactly look like a station that gets a great deal of activity. So, Berrylands right here. Can't see what sort of establishment that is. It looks like a mine, but I can't imagine there are particularly many mines this close to London. Certainly not in Surrey. Surrey mining, yeah, it was not exactly renowned. Anyway, onwards. Our next stop then is Surbiton. I certainly said that like someone from Southend. I do seem to recall Surbiton is, yeah, this is quite a snobby area as well. This is really snobby Surrey, I think, Surbiton. And yeah, we certainly have quite the number of speed reductions around here. So we have brakes, yeah, rather early, shall we say. So we're fine for the 20 mph section as we approach the station. So yeah, we enter the 20 mph section long before we actually passed it according to the route display. This is about the right place. I don't usually bother with being in the right place for our stops, but anyway, yeah, here we are then at Surbiton. A place so snobby you could nuke it and I wouldn't shed one fucking tear. So West Byfleet is now less than 10 miles away. Okay, off we go. So we can't really sort of like go too fast out of here because, yeah, we've got so many speed restrictions now. I say that and I'll still put it in 100%. Yeah, too slow with the easing off of the throttle. We're into a 35 section, but of course it goes down very quickly to 30, so we will we'll only accelerate to 30 here. So across the points. So he's now put us in the fast lane. So, okay, this is the branch for Hampton Court then. Or particular section for Hampton Court, but obviously we are in the avoiding lane. We are not going to be going that quick. We're now in an 80 zone, now a 90, so see, I should have realised that from the fact that we have been put in the faster avoiding lane. I think, to put it mildly, it is rather unlikely that a Class 159 would ever go into this line. I mean, admittedly we can do 90 mph, but yeah, express services we're not. So Esher is the next station. Ah, so this is why we were moved. So I don't know, maybe if we were going to Hampton Court then we would have gone up that line. Yeah, this is Hampton Court Junction. Okay, maybe we would have gone down there. If you hadn't already got the message by now, I haven't got a clue. Yeah, but you would have never guessed that, would you? I think I might need to brake slightly harder because, yeah, I've left it a bit longer than I usually do. Mind you, I normally brake too early anyway, so we might be alright here. You don't look too bad at the moment. In fact, we're still braking early. Oh well, why break the habit of a lifetime, eh? If anyone thinks that I was making a pun then, that says more about your humour than it does mine. Okay, here we are at Esher. Again, really snobby place, Esher. I mean, it looks nice, but, you know, yeah, this really is one of those places where, yeah, if your bank account is less than 7 figures, they look at you as if you just crawled out of a sewer. And we have Esher Racecourse right next to us. Or, actually, it's not Esher Racecourse, is it? Oh, no, I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, it's right there anyway. Let's face it, if you're going to have a racecourse somewhere near London, it can only be in Surrey. In case you hadn't already figured out, I don't have a very high opinion of Surrey. So Hersham is our next stop. These max speed reductions that are coming up are really not going to impact us any. So yeah, it's pretty much more of the same here. After this is Waterloo-on-Thames. I know about as much about that place as I know about this one. Is this as in Hersham Boys? Doesn't really strike me as being the sort of place that, you know, punk was a particularly big thing, but there you go. This looks like quite a major station. Not just the two platforms, and quite a long platform here. So yeah, Waterloo-on-Thames. Okay, so that middle part is clearly no longer used. So alright, it is just the two outer platforms, but yeah, they go on for a fair old length. Now, I don't think this building is part of the station, but well, yeah, maybe this station isn't such a big deal. Anyway, onwards and upwards. West Byfleet is now just over 4.5 miles away. ETA has us, yeah, arriving in 5 minutes, so it could be that there are no more stations until West Byfleet itself, or I could be completely wrong. We have Weybridge. Is it around Weybridge where the there's that big Mercedes sort of centre? They have like a test track on there. There's also a motor museum quite close by. It's not a Mercedes thing, but is it Brooklands? See, I think it might be. I think Brooklands is pretty close to Weybridge. Brooklands Motor Museum is where they have one of the greatest cars ever built, the Napier Railton. Magnificent thing. So, yeah, here we are at Weybridge. I've been here a few times. Usually when I've been on boating holidays on the River Wey itself. Okay, so our next stop is Byfleet and Newhall, which sounds like it's something that you know, a Southend bloke would say to a mate of his if they got themselves a new girlfriend. Newhall. That's Southend for you. You don't need to be a genius to work out that West Byfleet is obviously the next station after this one. Must admit, it's not quite the run that I'd hoped for. I was hoping it would take us off on some kind of branch, but it hasn't. It's just got us stopping at all of these small stations along the actual Portsmouth Main Line itself. But it certainly gave us a chance to see what the 159 is like. Try and stop as near to the actual station building as we can without going into step 3 braking. We really don't need to be going into step 3. So yep, here we are then, Byfleet and Newhall. can only assume it meant something very different back in the days when this town was named. Okay, so we are off to our final stop, which is West Byfleet, and it's barely a mile and a quarter away. Yeah, West Byfleet looks like it is quite a major station. Well, now that we are arriving, I can give my opinions on the 159, and yeah, I think for a commuter run, it's great. It drives really nicely, and as I've said with previous videos when I've driven the 158, yeah, I think the 158 is a really boring demu. It's not at all memorable, but it does drive really well in the game. And the 159 is more of the same. It does have better acceleration than the 158, and I'm sure if I got the chance to take it up to top speed, it would do a great job of it. But yeah, if you're doing commuter runs, you could do far worse than use this train, that is for sure. So there we are, that is our commuter run done. That was London Waterloo to West Byfleet. Unusual route, but well, for me anyway, but not a bad one, especially in the 159. I'd say it did the job quite well. Yeah, not bad at all. See how we did. Yeah, just a one speeding error, and that was only just. So yeah, I was this close to a clear run, but oh well, it wasn't to be. So there we are. Yeah, I do like the 159, or at least I like driving it. I still think it's a boring train. You know, in real life, I wouldn't be going out of my way to try and spot one. But not as boring as the 158 anyway, so it has that going for it. So that is this video done, and we will see you at the next one.